We're a couple of days removed from the PlayStation State of Play event, and I saw a relative mixed reception to the event. Honestly, in my comment section, maybe because we cover just pretty much only PlayStation content in this channel, it seemed like a lot of you guys found stuff that you can sink your teeth into. The general reception online, I was seeing that people were a bit disappointed. However, there were some standouts of the event. Obviously, Valkyrie Elysium is a game that I think looks really solid and hopefully turns out really well. That's coming in 2022. And also another game, again, a lot of people are saying that the event was a Square Enix showcase more than a PlayStation showcase. The other game that kinda ended the show on a high note was Square Enix's brand new real-time strategy RPG in the DIOFIELD Chronicle. Now, this is coming to just about every platform: PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So you're really going to be able to play it on whatever platform you want. And I know right away when everybody saw this game, when they saw the tactics gameplay, when you think Square Enix, when you think tactics, no, you're not thinking The Last Remnant. You're probably thinking Final Fantasy Tactics, a franchise that's been dormant for so very long and people want to see it come back. But what we got was a brand new IP, and sure, you can look at it as Final Fantasy Tactics as you want, but the game is called the DIOFIELD Chronicle, and again, it's coming to just about every platform. And since the announcement of the game, a slew of information has trickled out about the game, and I do want to talk about it now. First of all, obviously this game is being published and somewhat developed by Square Enix. However, another developer that's working on the game is Lankars. So my apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly, but I decided to look up a little bit about that studio, and they've actually worked on a couple of titles that are of note. Nothing too big budget, but games that maybe hardcore JRPG fans will be familiar with. The recently released Monarch, they worked on that. Zonky Zero: The Last Beginning, SMT's Strange Journey Redo, Lost Dimension back in 2014. So they've worked on some titles that have a little bit of notoriety, especially to the hardcore JRPG audience, and especially Monarch, a game like that. Tactics RPG there. So, right up their wheelhouse by the looks of it. It's interesting because with both the DIOFIELD Chronicle and Valkyrie Elysium, the game is being worked on by studios that have worked on somewhat notable games, but by far, this is seemingly the biggest game that they've been able to work on, and man, I would hate to be in their shoes right now. That must be an immense amount of pressure, but hey, sometimes pressure makes diamonds, as they were to say. And if they want to get their name out there, hopefully both Valkyrie Elysium and the DIOFIELD Chronicle can deliver high-quality experiences. So, again, a lot of pressure on them, so hoping for the best. This game will also launch in 2022, so that's a gigantic thumbs up for me. Again, Square Enix is known to announce these games, and we don't see it for like 7 years. So in this case, both Valkyrie Elysium, DIOFIELD Chronicle 2022 titles, that's already a win in my book. Now, here is some information coming directly from Square Enix about this game. It's noted to be the birth of a new simulation RPG with cutting-edge graphics. An all-new simulation RPG brought to you by Square Enix, combining our skill and experience in crafting great stories with real-time strategic elements. We have created a simulation RPG that may look familiar at glance, but provides something never seen before. This game offers a truly unique experience from both its story and its gameplay. An all-new simulation RPG from Square Enix, an all-new simulation RPG that chronicles an epic tale of war and honor, features a unique world depicting using beautiful graphics that blends fantasy, medieval, and modern-day influences, and a deep yet innovative real-time battle system. Again, you've got your deep strategic real-time battles. The battles in this game are defined by swift assessment of the battlefield conditions and issuing decisive orders that take advantage of your troops' strengths and weaknesses to gain advantage over your foe. Make clever use of a variety of different skills, classes, troop types, and equipment to attack the enemy and complete your mission. Realistic diorama-style battle scenes, the natural environment and cultures of the island of DIOFIELD, combined with unique diorama-style textures to create a clear and beautiful visual aesthetic, is noted as well. Producer and planner of the title is Hirata Shigeyuki from Square Enix. Directors, you got a couple: Kumagi Takahiro from Square Enix and Fukui Hirofumi from Lankars. You've got Taiki, notable works being Lord of Vermilion 3 and 4, doing the character design. So you've got notable works attached to it, and it's also noted that DIOFIELD Chronicle is a simulation RPG that tells an epic tale of war and military intrigue where you struggle for victory alongside numerous different forces. The player will participate in war council events to plan strategy, select missions to tackle, and train up their units before taking to the field to command them in real-time battle. That kind of reminds me a little bit of Valkyrie Chronicles, but there's a lot of strategy RPGs that follow a similar style to that. I can even think of Western strategy tactical games and XCOM that has elements of that as well. Again, battles do play out in real time. You'll issue orders to the various divisions of the Blue Fox Mercenary Company and complete your mission. Split-second tactical decisions are the key to securing victory. Battles essentially play out in real time. Select a unit from your army and instructed to move or attack in a suitable manner. You can also select to issue orders to all units at once, so adapt your commands to the situation at hand. You've got ambush attacks. Use one unit in a defensive role to weather enemy attacks and then maneuver another unit around behind to attack from the rear. So typical strategy RPG gameplay. It doesn't seem like it's completely reinventing the wheel in any sort of way, but it seems to be a competent, well-made game that, as long as the execution is on point, that's really what we're looking for out of the DIOFIELD Chronicles. In a tactical RPG, yes, you can have some interesting mechanics, which it does seem like DIOFIELD Chronicles has. However, we're not looking to reinvent the wheel here. We just need something that's well-made, well-designed, has a nice aesthetic, which from what we saw out of the trailer, it does look like it absolutely has that. And hopefully that's parlayed into the entirety of the game and we can get something quality across the board. The setting in the story, obviously a very big element of the game. The setting for the story is the island of DIOFIELD, the 6th largest island in the world, separated from the mainland by a stretch of ocean. The island is scattered with the remains of an ancient and bestial race called the Argus, who were its inhabitants long before the coming of humanity. This land is also rich in the mineral jade, prized for its use as base ingredient in magic and sorcery, with the exception of the unexplored frontier lands and Middenfield, political heart of Altain and home of the royal capital. DIOFIELD Island is divided into northern, southern, eastern, and western regions, each with their own unique quirks and cultures. The kingdom itself, a nation born when the dynasty united the island of DIOFIELD, it has now been over 200 years since the rule of the crown was established, with the island vaunted as being near unassailable from outside attack. It has only conducted a bare minimum of diplomacy over the years and prospered in unique directions during its isolation. The royal capital is a sizable castle town nestled between the castle and a mighty river. If you want more background on the story, I will leave a link in the description box below where it goes over every character and a bit of their backstory one by one. There's quite a few characters that they've already revealed, and I will say this, the art direction and the character design, really liking that. They all have their unique aesthetic, and I'm really liking the look of all the characters, and it looks like they've all been designed with a healthy level of care. But there you go, the DIOFIELD Chronicle, a brand new IP. You know, sometimes I get really excited for these Square Enix new IPs, especially from a JRPG front, and I'm not the biggest tactics RPG guy, but obviously a Square Enix tactics JRPG, just those ideas put together are gonna get people to have an inherent level of excitement. Let's see if we can have a proper execution of all of the ideas that the DIOFIELD Chronicle have put out, because I think there's a lot of potential here. But let me know what you guys think. This seems to be a game that some people have a healthy level of interest for. It seems like this and Valkyrie Elysium were really the two titles that stood out to people across these State of Play events. However, with both those games, doing a little bit of digging, you do have maybe, you could say, untested in terms of these bigger games that are going to get a lot of attention. So I could imagine the studios working on these games have a lot of pressure on them right now, so hopefully they deliver, and hopefully that takes them to the next level in terms of being more notable in the game development world. That's just my 2 cents based on seeing the works, because they've worked on some titles that, again, have had some attention, but doing a Square Enix JRPG, in my opinion, is just gonna give you a little bit more attention than their previous works have shown. But that's just my 2 cents. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Let me know your excitement level for the DIOFIELD Chronicle. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.